am now in the process of installing these JDM side skirts. Just mocked them up to the car and drilled out the holes necessary. There's 5 on each side. You can see 1 right there, 3 there, and then the 5th one right there. So after I drilled these out, I sprayed in some paint to protect it from rust. And the reason why they're so big is because I'm not using self-tapping screws. I'm actually going with these M8 Rivnuts. And to go with the Rivnuts, I also picked up a set of stainless steel fender washers and a bunch of M8 stainless steel button head screws. Now I'm about to install the Rivnuts, so to help me with that process, I picked up this tool, an Astro pneumatic riveter. 1442. Done deal. These side skirts are definitely a must. Here's a T3 backing block. After some fitting inside the engine bay, I bent up this Ladybird bracket, so it should be pretty level now. Let's throw this thing in. Cool, there it is, all done, nice and sturdy, not going anywhere. Has a nice straight shot with the vacuum barbs straight to the intake manifold. So that should hopefully work out pretty good. Gave this bracket 3 coats of paint. First used some rust reformer on the base, then some self-etching primer, and followed it up with this top coat. Alright, it's time to wipe this entire interior down with some protectant, and my product of choice is this stuff. 303 Aerospace Protectant. I've been using this stuff for like 12 years. I remember back in the day I used to go to like marine supply stores to find this stuff, but now it's generally available, so you can get this anywhere. And I like this stuff in particular is because it doesn't have too much sheen, like, you know, Armor All or something like that. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and spray everything down that has vinyl or some type of you know, vinyl surface, like these seats. All right, there we go. Just finished wiping everything down. I hit all the plastics, all the rubber pieces. That 303 Aerospace Protectant went on really well. Applied pretty evenly. I know it's kind of hard to see with this lighting, so just kind of, I guess, take my word for it. And here's the crown jewel of the interior. This perfectly clean black dash. Really happy about that. In all honesty, I'm pretty impressed with the condition of this interior. It's really good for a 80s car. And that's the main reason why I kind of held back on being too aggressive with my goals. I mean, of course, the idea of, you know, kind of stripping out the interior or doing something like more race oriented, because this isn't my daily, did cross my mind, but obviously I put that out the window and decided against it because there's no way I can let this interior just go to waste. I mean, it's not often that you find an AE86 with a fully intact interior like this, I think. So here's a look at the back. It's all cleaned up. And you guys may notice that I put back every single interior panel and I did not install the Miracle crossbar because I would have had to cut open that strut tower trim piece down there. And it was just a pretty invasive install for what I wanted. It kind of sucks. I mean, the crossbar would have been kind of cool to have installed in the car. It's just sitting over there by the wall now. But don't worry, I got something else in plan. Something a little bit scaled back, but should still do the same effect. So I'm just waiting for that to come in. What the hell is this thing? All right, let's take a moment to talk about the Seibon hatch. First off, it's super dope. The quality is really good. I'm surprised. When I took it out of the box, I was pretty amazed at the consistency of the carbon weave and just the overall structure of this carbon hatch. No complaints there. Now, the reason why I dropped it off to the body shop instead of just slapping it on is because carbon fiber, when it doesn't have a clear coat over it and it gets exposed to UV rays, there's no protectant to the UV rays. And then guess what happens? Of course, it fades, it starts to yellow. So to avoid all that, put a clear coat over your carbon fiber. Always do that extra step. Definitely recommend it. So I didn't like the idea of having like a fully bare looking carbon fiber hatch just sitting on the back of the car. I thought it was too much carbon fiber And I also didn't want to hide that carbon fiber. So then my goal was basically to try and strike that midway point. So that's what this carbon hatch has. It has a really dark tinted clear coat. I think my painter used 2 coats of black mixed clear coat on top of it. And obviously the car has a lot of this PPG prismatic flake in it. So we added a little bit into the carbon hatch as well. So that has a little bit of that going on. It's not quite as heavy as I'd like it to be. Maybe in the future I'll get it re-cleared and add a little bit more flake and maybe even make it darker, because I can still kind of see the carbon a little bit more than I think I'd like. Can't really decide, don't know. But anyway, the idea is if you stand 5 feet away from the car and it's not in direct sunlight or some type of light source, it basically looks black. So I'm not sure if the camera can kind of pick it up right now, but in the garage right now, it looks pretty much like it's a black hatch. But then anytime you put a light to it, it becomes apparent. So honestly, I'm not sure. I kind of want it to be a little bit darker than this, but maybe I'll just live with it and deal with that. So who knows? Slapped on this Treno badge to the front bumper. It's looking a lot more official now. I didn't go ahead and install this bumper last week when I was taking it off, or when I was about to put it on, because I think I might actually rebuy these lights. They look pretty good from the front, but from the inside, they're pretty dirty. I mean, I noticed that the reflective material inside is all flaking off and there's just a bunch of crud inside. So I decided to just go ahead and change these out now. Now you see it. And now you don't. So the clean dash underneath will pretty much never show, but the important part is knowing what you have underneath. Just reinstalled the JDM steering wheel, re-indexed it, and it's looking very, very original. So let's get this interior buttoned up. I have one more thing I need to install as kind of like the cherry on top. This is something I'm gonna have to defer to the comments and you guys to let me know if I should go this direction or not. So right now it has this Buddy Club shift knob, which is pretty cool, I really like it. But I ended up picking up this thing, a white TRD shift knob. It's like this really lightweight plastic polymer type material. It's kind of cool, it's white. So let's go ahead and try this on. Boom, there it is. Let me know what you guys think. And if you thought I was wrapped up with this interior, I actually have one more trick up my sleeves. And that's these, some brand new pedal covers for the brake and clutch pedals. Here's one of my old pedal covers. You can see it's a little bit worn, it's a little bit shiny. And then here's a new one. So hopefully these new covers will give me some added grip, which will be especially important when I'm doing those sick ass rev matches. Holy F, that sucked. Just spent like an hour scrubbing this thing down. So I decided to go ahead and dig this Trust DD exhaust out of storage, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use it. I was initially against the idea of using this exhaust because it seems like it's a little bit on the loud side, but I already have it and it's definitely better than that fart can that's currently on the car. So I'm just gonna run with it. It's definitely old, but it does have a cool factor.